I'm Jessica, and welcome to Reality Check. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode where I check off your list with who our new Bachelorette is. This is crazy. This is honestly just so crazy because I have been a Bachelor fan for at least 20 years, and I have never been so shook. Out of all the twists and turns and things that this franchise has thrown at us, and they always say, you know, it's the most dramatic season ever, and we're always like, is it? I am so shook with what the franchise has thrown at us. And I mean, I'm sure you've heard because it is literally everywhere, but oh my gosh, Taylor Frankie Paul is our new Bachelorette. This is crazy. Like, this is actually crazy. The show has never done this in the history of the show. And particularly the Bachelorettes. The Bachelorettes have always been women from the previous season. That has always been the formula of the show. But, I mean, look, the show, the franchise has, you know, obviously had to take a step back. There was no Bachelorette this past spring. There always is. And so they had to take a step back and be like, okay, what are we going to do? How are we going to get eyeballs onto this show? Because there are so many other reality shows in general, particularly, like, I mean, you look at Love Island, like Netflix, like there's just so many new reality shows that are coming out that The Bachelor is competing with. And like, The Bachelor, I mean, you could say that, like, it was ahead of its time when it started however many years ago, like 25 years ago. But now, you know, it's everything is kind of caught up to it and it's very fallen behind, you know? And so it's like, okay, what are we going to do? Because this is a dying franchise and we need to spice it up. And man, oh man, like, did they ever put some spice into the show? Because this season, it's going to be absolutely crazy. So let's backtrack a little bit. So this happened on a Monday, and Alex Cooper from Call Her Daddy, she posted a reel on her TikTok, and she posted, it was a cake, and on the cake it was in blue writing and it said season 30, and then she cut open the cake and she lifted it, and inside it was pink, and she looked all confused. And I mean, I knew. And not to kind of like tip my hat or be like, oh yeah, like I knew. I've been watching the Bachelor franchise for 20 years and I knew that this was going to be their season 30 of The Bachelor. I just knew that because I knew that they would be entering their 50th season in totality. They were at 20, does the math make sense? 2019 Bachelorette seasons. No, does the math make sense? 20 Bachelorette seasons, and I gotta stop there. 29 Bachelor seasons, and then this would have been 30. Anyways, they said, nope, not that. So I knew when I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, like, cool, this is going to be a Bachelorette season, but like, it's not gonna be a celebrity. Like, that didn't even cross my mind. I was thinking, maybe it's going to be Susie. Maybe it's going to be Rachel. You know, Rachel and Matt. Like, maybe it's going to be Latia. Like, I'm like, it's going to be someone from the franchise, but like, cool that they're going to, you know, pick someone that like wasn't from this past season. I didn't really see anyone other than Latia that could have been a Bachelorette, honestly, from this past season. But I'm like, they have some big names. Susie was just on Paradise. She was literally on Paradise for like a hot minute. She has this redemption arc with Clayton, and not even redemption arc, but like she has such a story. Like she was with Clayton and then she was with Justin and then they broke up and like she went on to Paradise, and I was like, okay, they're setting the stage for Susie to be Bachelorette. But then I'm like, who better to have than Rachel Kirkconnell? I love Rachel Kirkconnell, right? Like she had such a rough go at it at the beginning of the year when Matt James just abruptly broke up with her and put it on social media for the masses. And so I'm like, okay, maybe it's Rachel Kirkconnell. But then people are online were saying, no, it's going to be, maybe it's someone bigger than that. And then people were throwing out like Brooks Nader. People were throwing out Kristen Cavallari. But then also people were putting out Taylor Frankie Paul. And again, not in my wildest dreams did I think the franchise is going to go the celebrity route. I just didn't think they had it in them, you know? Like, it's so bold of them to do, to go the celebrity route, but I am so glad that they did it. And look, like, some might say Taylor is a controversial pick, and, you know, she is. Like, at the end of the day, she is a controversial pick, but I think that's exactly what ABC wanted. Like, they wanted people to talk, and they wanted people to either be like one end of the spectrum. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy that she's a Bachelorette. She's going to be so messy. I can't wait to watch her, like, redemption arc, all this, whatever. But then you're going to have other people on the spectrum and be like, why are you platforming her? Why are you giving her, you know, the Bachelorette platform? And, like, she has, you know, things that have happened in her past, like, not so great things. And so I think that's what they wanted. I think this is the exact reaction that they wanted. And so that happened on the Monday when they put out the cake reel. And then on Wednesday, early on in the morning, it was announced that she was the new Bachelorette. And so obviously, if you don't know who Taylor Frankie Paul is, I'm sure you do, but she is on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. But, like, she is the main, I guess, character, the main person on the show. She formed Mom Talk. She was, like, the forefront of it all, and she formed the group way back before the show even existed and had all the TikToks. Like, it's because of her that all of them have fame and all of them have this show, and some of them are on Dancing with the Stars now. Like, it is all for her, but, you know, she has a little bit of a past and a little bit of a history that we saw all play out on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. She first was a part of the swinger scandal, and that's also how, like, Mom Talk got super big, because of the swinger scandal. And I think, honestly, that's probably how they got this show, is because of the scandal. And it was like, okay, yeah, they're swinging, and they all agreed to it, but then she ended up really liking the person that she was swinging with, and so she ended up cheating on her husband, and then her husband and her got divorced. So that we see on the show. And then she has a DV arrest because she throws a chair at Dakota. She has 2 baby daddies, 3 kids. You know, it's just, she definitely is a controversial pick. And I think my standpoint on it is, like, I can see both sides. Like, I can totally see both sides of the spectrum of, like, the people that are so excited and so happy that, like, oh my gosh, finally we're gonna have a good lead on this show, someone that we all know, and we know that she's going to bring the mess and the drama, and she doesn't care what other people think. Like, that I can see, and it's like, okay, it's gonna make for good reality TV, 100%, like, hands down. But then I can also see the other side of the spectrum of, like, where people are really genuinely upset because they're like, how are you platforming this woman? Because there have been other controversial people on Bachelor Nation that, like, have had really not great pasts and have done really bad things. And, you know, people are the first to be like, cancel them, and why are they on the show, and, like, going at the producers. And so it's like, I can see both sides of the spectrum. I think what is different from Taylor Frankie Paul, from all those people, is, like, we've seen everything pan out on the show, and we've seen how she has been able to learn and grow and adapt and put work into herself. And it's like, I think at the end of the day, everyone deserves a second chance. Like, I totally get that. I think a lot of people, I mean, people in general just have rough goes at life. And I think it's up to them to look at themselves in the mirror to be like, I need to change. And so obviously with the DV arrest, that's what she did. And she did change, and she put in the work. I mean, did she, you know, being the Bachelorette, it's a controversial pick. It truly is. But, I mean, it's going to be a really good season. It is. And there's a lot of people that have never watched the show before that are going to watch it. I also think there's going to be a lot of people that are not going to watch it because they're upset with the pick. But again, I think this is what ABC wanted. They wanted a new audience. They wanted new people, new eyeballs to watch the show, and they wanted to change up. And that's exactly what they did. You know, like, they needed to revive the franchise. And honestly, by bringing in Taylor Frankie Paul, that is exactly what they're doing. It was very unexpected, even though, like, she advocated to be the Bachelorette. I think 3 years ago, she put out a TikTok, like, I want to be the Bachelorette, and she kind of, like, manifested it, and now 3 years later, she is the Bachelorette. It's like a full circle moment, but, like, she put it out there that she wanted to be it. I mean, why now? I think it's honestly just because the franchise is dying. They didn't have a Bachelorette season this past spring, and I don't think they had, I mean, I've heard like from other podcasts that they were, you know, they were actively scouting out Bachelor. So I honestly think too, like it seemed like this was like a very last minute decision. Like, I don't know if they've been actively planning this out for months to be like, okay, Taylor, Frankie Paul, you're the Bachelor. Like, I've heard many different things. Other guys have been in the running to become the Bachelor, and they're like, yep, you're going to be the Bachelor. Oh, you're in the running, you're in the running. And then last minute, it's like, oh, no, we're going with the Bachelorette. I don't know. I've also heard that they had other women in the running. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Susie was in the running to be the Bachelorette. Especially, like, I wouldn't be surprised if they said to Susie, if you go on Bachelor in Paradise, you will definitely be the Bachelorette. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. They've done that many times before, you know? And, like, sometimes it's worked out. Look at Nick Viall. He had to go on Paradise in order to have, like, the edit of, like, the heartbreak and then for him to then be the Bachelor. Then there's been other people where I'm sure they've been like, okay, go on Paradise and we're going to give you Bachelor or Bachelorette. And honestly, I obviously don't know, but that I feel like is what happened with Susie because, I mean, this is such a big name. This is such a big get for the franchise. I'm so curious how much she's getting paid. I'm so curious. Like, I'm sure it is a big fat check. I'm very sure about that. But also, she might just be like, I just want to be the Bachelorette. So treat me like a normal Bachelorette. I'm not here for any, you know, special treatment or whatever. If the Bachelorette gets paid $100,000, pay me $100,000. But I don't know, because it's like she's away from real life for like 2.5 months. So that's like 2.5 months of her not getting brand deals, her not raking in money and TikToks and all that stuff. I'm sure that they have to pay for what she's kind of also losing if she wasn't doing the show. So I don't know. I feel like it would be so hilarious if Dakota just showed up on the show, like in true Dakota fashion. Like he also just already put a TikTok being like, I'm just over here just taking care of my child. I'm like, oh, okay, Dakota, we get it. But I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting what kind of guys that they get on the show. Because I'm sorry, you're telling me that every single guy is going to be there to find love? No. Every single guy there, they're all going to be clout chasers. They're all going to want fame. They're all going to just want to be on the show because it's Taylor, Frankie, Paul. And again, I think it's so interesting because it's like they know who the lead is. They know it's this big name. They know the eyeballs that the show is going to get. I'm sorry, but all of these guys, I'm not going to be watching the show this season to be like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see the love story between Taylor and whoever. There's not going to be a love story. There's not. Like, there just isn't. She's not doing this show for love. Taylor Frankie Paul does not need to be the Bachelorette because she can't find love elsewhere. She literally said it on Alex Cooper's podcast that she is actively talking to this guy. She flew some guy that didn't know who she was to her. They met on Instagram or something. He flew to her. She posted him. If you follow her on Instagram, she posted the guy and it was like a guitar and it was of his hand or something. And everyone's like, oh my God, she has a new man, she has a new man, she has a new man. And she says on this podcast, she told him, like, you know, I'm going to be the new Bachelorette. And if things don't work out, would you come on to the show? And he's like, yeah, I don't know. Like, she is already putting it out in the universe. If things don't work out, like already thinking, oh yeah, things probably aren't going to work out. So like maybe the man that I'm currently seeing right now is going to come on to the show. Like, this is it's a joke in the sense of she's not there to find a guy. And the guys are not there to date Taylor Frankie Paul. Like, maybe they are, but like, do you actually think that this show, this season, is going to end in an engagement? No. And you know what? That's okay. That's okay, because the Bachelor, the Bachelorette that we knew 20 years prior is not the same show. It can't be the same show. It can't. It's turned stale. It's turned stale. So I'm glad that they're making moves. I'm glad that they're actively changing, but it's like the love story that we all watch this show for, that's not going to be this season. Did anyone say when they were like, oh my gosh, it's Taylor, Frankie Paul, did you see anyone say online, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see the love story. I can't wait to see her fall in love. I can't wait to see her get engaged. Every single person said, oh my gosh, it's going to be messy. I'm here for the mess. I'm here for the drama. And if they didn't say I'm here for the drama, it's because, you know, they don't want her to be the Bachelorette. But you know what I mean? No one cares about a love story. They just care that it's her and that it's messy and that it's a change up. So I find it interesting. I'm glad that the franchise is making moves. I'm glad that they are changing things up. And I think it's going to be very, very interesting. And I mean, this is what they're going to have to do. Going forward, they're going to just have to choose celebrities. You know, I was thinking about this, and Dancing with the Stars has been around for a long time. And I feel like Dancing with the Stars became like, I don't know what the word is, but it started becoming like a class C show. Like kind of embarrassing. Like, oh, you're on Dancing with the Stars? That means like you're like a C, D celebrity. But all of a sudden, I don't know how, but it's like, I think it's one to do with like the actual dancers. Like they're all on social media and it's like we follow them and we're invested in their lives. But like they've gotten really good celebrities. Like within the past few seasons, that show has revived. Like Derek Huff is the host. Like it just has kind of modernized, you know? And I feel like that show has gone through a revival and now it's like people are pleading and begging, oh my gosh, I would love to be on Dancing with the Stars, please, that's my dream, I would love to be on. Like you have big names on Dancing with the Stars and I feel like now that's going to be The Bachelor, right? And they're all in the same ABC family, so they're all kind of like, I feel like taking a page out of each other's book where it's like, okay, how do we kind of modernize? How do we finally adapt and, you know, finally take on social media and like, how do we become relevant? Because this show really just hasn't become relevant at all. And so I think that's just what this show needs to do. They need to only cast celebrities. I don't really care that they're going to cast celebrities. I don't care if the celebrity or whoever has a ton of followers. I don't care because at the end of the day, I don't really watch The Bachelor for the love story. It's just entertainment for me. It's the drama. It's also all the stuff that happens kind of like offline and social media. For me, it's just entertainment. And yeah, if they find love, like great, but I don't really care. And you know, like it's just like whatever. So I'm not going to watch Taylor Frankie Paul's season and be like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for the love story. Like there's going to be no love story. Like maybe there is, but she's already putting it out in the universe. Oh, to this random guy that she just met. Oh, if things don't work out, you want to come on the show? You know? So I think that's what they're going to have to do. That's their decision. That is their stance. They're going to choose celebrities, and that's how they're going to revive the show. And I think that's okay. I think that's what they need to do. That's what they need to do to become relevant and to bring in eyeballs. So it's a controversial pick. You're either on can't wait, going to be mess, can't wait for the drama, I've never watched this show before, now I'm going to watch, or you might be on the other side of the spectrum, I'm not going to watch, I can't believe they chose her, I can't believe they're platforming her, but that's what ABC wanted. They wanted this reaction, and they got it. So whatever, you know, stance that you're on, I think that's exactly what they wanted to do, and I think it was successful. I do. I think it was successful. And I'm going to be honest, I really liked how they announced it. I liked how they hyped it. The Bachelor franchise, I feel like is just not good on social media whatsoever at all. So like, it's like Alex Cooper. And also too, I find it interesting that Alex Cooper helped announce this on her podcast because she has a dating show coming out. Isn't it like on Hulu? And she's producing it. I don't know. Maybe she's just like, me and the Bachelor franchise, I don't see them in competition. I don't know. I just find it interesting. It's kind of like Alex Cooper is now like the go-to for like the big stories or the big names in Bachelor Nation. Like those big interviews. You had the Maria interview. You had the Rachel Kirkconnell interview. You had the Colton interview. So, I don't know. It's kind of like she's becoming the go-to. I'm sure she got paid a lot of money as well. So, good for her. But, yeah. I'm very eager for this season to start. Obviously, it hasn't even filmed yet. And typically, The Bachelor films, I want to say, like, in October through into November. Maybe even it starts filming in September. So, they're already late into the game. I don't know how it's going to work. They haven't announced a launch date or anything. Typically, The Bachelor would be on beginning of January or even, like, mid-January. So, I don't know. I'm assuming that's what they're going to do as well with The Bachelorette. But we'll have to wait and find out. So, that was a quick one, but I just wanted to I had so many thoughts. I was like just blown away by everything. And so that is all. I am currently recapping Love Island Game Season 2. So if you haven't already, check that out. And that'll do it for me today. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Please rate, subscribe, review, do all of the things. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at yourrealitycheck.pod. And I cannot wait to chat with you in the next episode. Bye.